Go live. Did you click live?
Good morning, everyone. It is the Chip Matthews program here on WYAB with the lovely and talented Taylor Turcott. And for those tuning in on the app, does it look better on the app today? I mean, I'm just asking.
I think it does.
Okay.
I'm trying to share it out right now. If y'all
trying to figure
bear
that
with
out.
me a minute.
We're trying to figure that out. But anyway, we've had an eventful day. By the way, you do know Pete Rose is now eligible for the Hall of Fame. Do you even know who Pete Rose is?
I know who Pete Rose is.
What do you know about him?
I remember he played baseball.
Okay.
And it seems like he wore a red hat all the time.
Because he played for the Reds.
There we go. He had a red hat.
Okay. If y'all knew the struggles.
Please.
The struggles I go through. You know who Shoeless Joe Jackson is?
The struggles that I go through.
Do you know who Shoeless Joe Jackson is?
Yes. He was in the movie Field of Dreams.
Yeah, but he was a baseball player also.
Yeah.
That was a movie that depicted.
I know who he is because of that. I'm glad you're quoting movies this morning, Chip.
Do you know who Walter Payton is?
Yes, Walter Payton is from one of the little towns south of Jackson on 49.
Yeah.
Isn't he?
And what? What about him?
He's a football player.
He has passed away, but he was a football player.
Okay.
Played at Jackson State,
of course,
and was the greatest greatest running back of all time.
Aside from Brett Favre and Ole Miss, the whole Manning.
Yeah.
Did any of the best football players come from anywhere else besides Jackson State?
Yes.
Where?
You had people that from all over the state are the best players in the.
Well, I'm just saying Jackson State puts out all of the good football players. It was the point I was trying to make.
No, Ole Miss and States, even State has had good football players.
Okay.
I mean, the NFL is littered with the best players in all of the NFL and all over time came from Mississippi.
We have more in Mississippi. We have more ex-football players. We produce more than anybody else in the country.
If we go back in time.
Mm-hmm.
Lance Allworth was a receiver that broke all the records. Then Jerry Rice broke all of his records.
I remember that.
But the reality is this. If all those people would come home, and L.C. Greenwood was from Canton, Mississippi, and he won a bunch of Super Bowls, and he is the man. And I think there should be a statue and of him at the front of at every park in Canton.
Mm-hmm.
And because that man was the first man that brought both sides of Canton together when he did a parade in Canton after the Steelers won a Super Bowl back in the 70s.
Yep.
That was the first time that I went to a parade in Canton where all the blacks and all the whites were on the square.
Yep.
That was the first time. And people often don't remember that. And the reason why that was is because, you brought Terry Bradshaw and you brought Lynn Swan and Mean Joe Green and all that. They came to town. That is... Sports is uniting.
Good.
And so people need to understand that politicians are a bunch of liars because all they want to do is separate people all the time. Good morning, Marilyn Christian.
Good morning.
And so, so that's just something that people need to, the sports have been what brought us together.
Yep.
And then and then of course they're all the Dallas Cowboy fans. They're
Dak is there. I love
Dallas.
Yep.
Dallas is just a mess. But anyway, we're not going to talk about Dallas
because
I'm a New York Giants fan. And then, of course, everybody says, Chip, that's because Eli. No, it goes back to Charlie Connolly from Mississippi, from Cleveland. But anyway, let's get back. Let's get back to talking about something else.
You're avoiding the issue.
I don't want to. Here we go. We're going to go. Truly, the mayor of Canton.
I don't want to talk about him.
Who said that? No, he did a little thing on the news last night.
Well,
and what he said was this.
Mm-hmm.
He said, some people have been saying that I'm hiding. And it is. And then he goes, my job is to be the mayor. And at the bottom line, it's all my fault. Then in truly fashion, he goes, but it's also the alderman's fault. And I just go, there you go. The buck stops here, but I'm going to pass it off to somebody else.
Exactly.
And I just go, and then he's called for the alderman. He says, I'm going to tell them to give me $1 million to fix the problem. And I'm like, okay, you got about till July 1st in office. You want to steal $1 more million on the way out. So, okay.
There he goes.
That's that plan.
Oh, well.
But anyway, that's what's going on. Okay, so you're going to get on to me about my interview yesterday. Go ahead.
Really?
Go ahead.
I mean, the thing that a movie came to, I'm glad you're quoting movies this morning, because I remember in Top Gun when he was trying to romance his girl and she walked off on him on the first time and he looked over at his buddies. He said, it wouldn't be any fun if they fell over with their legs in the air from the get-go. That's what you did yesterday with Lawrence.
What?
You let him, first of all,
I think you're crazy, but anyway.
No, you're giving him all the credit for standing up on HB1. Okay.
No,
that he stood up. Stephanie Foster, this is what gets me, is that all of a sudden he's getting all this attention when Stephanie Foster was stepping up for the Democratic Party or for the her Republican constituents and doing things that was getting her in a lot of trouble because she was siding with Democratic Party because she was siding with Philip Gunn.
And you know that I'm against HB1, right?
Well, yes, but you pat him on the back that he voted for that.
No.
He then calls out Tate Reeves because Tate was talking dirty about England for making a deal with the Democrats.
Okay.
And you let him walk on that.
Okay.
Literally right out on it.
Okay, what else?
And then you let Benny skate. Yeah. You say to him, where's Benny? And he's like, oh, we don't need Benny. Benny's up in the Capitol handling.
Right.
This kid, I'm sorry, but first of all, I saw him at Gripping Ground getting all up in his head that he's getting a big head already, that he can control a room. Yesterday, he basically was on speakerphone the whole time. How many people do you think were in that room having that conversation with him yesterday?
Don't know. Don't care.
Probably 5 or 10.
Okay, I will tell you this. I'm going to stop you right there.
I'm sorry. You've got to give up your love affair with him because I'm telling you right now, he's even sounds like Chokwe.
Well, hold on just a second.
He's playing you.
I have no love affair.
They have sent in plants in certain areas, and I guarantee you this boy's one of them.
Okay, zip it.
Don't tell me to zip it.
Because listen for just a second. Listen for just a second. This program, when someone comes on it, I will respect their views and hear their entire views and not fight those views except yours. I will fight you.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you.
You're going to call out all the Republican politicians when they come out, but you're not going to say anything to this Democrat coming out?
No.
Because I know, and see, that's the part. They're playing you because they know that you want unity. They know there is another Democrat that's honest that I'm sure would be stepping into the exact same spot that Lawrence is, but his daddy's got him rolled into it. He's even got the way that he says Kenton, and he sounds it sounds trained just like Chokwe.
Okay.
I mean, I the whole show yesterday, I just vibrated because, and then y'all bring Capitol Police into it.
Yes.
How many times did he badmouth Tate Reeves and Capitol Police 2.5 years ago? When did they come after? They went after our guy for even writing. They had to come to the Republicans to write the bill for the CCID. They then attacked him after he wrote it for him, after several of the pastors asked to be included in it. And now y'all are asking Capitol Police to come out and start handling these other areas like Canton. David Archie was actually talking about how we could get police involvement in Jackson to straighten up stuff long before the election, and nobody paid attention to it.
Okay, so here's the deal.
This kid came in.
I mean, he
better not run it with me like he did with you yesterday on the telephone. I mean, because
the deal is
Benny, we don't need Benny down here.
The deal is
Benny's doing stuff up at the federal level. You've got me.
The deal is this, and just calm down.
Well,
deal is
not
this.
Vibrating like I was yesterday while I was listening to it the first
you
time.
have to listen to both sides to understand what is going on.
You do, but you have to call them out as well. Do you realize that he sat there and called Tate Reeves out for shooting down HB1?
Do you not?
And calling out Jeremy England for not HB1, but for the voting, extending the voting days for 15.
And
he badmouthed Tate for calling Jeremy out for working with the Democrats on the 15-day early voting bill.
Okay.
And you let him skate right by and didn't say anything to him about how, well I'm against that as well.
Well,
I'm appreciative that Tate Reeves shot that down.
Well, people that are regularly on my show and listen to our show know that I'm against HB1. I'm also against early voting. But you have to listen to both sides to where you can figure out what to do. You do.
You still can't just let them skate by you and not call.
But you
and you can kindly come. If I would have been sitting here, I would have very nicely called him out on all three of those issues when he said those.
But see,
because Benny Thompson is the cause of all of it.
But
Benny Thompson could, in a snap of his fingers, fix everything. And Jackson, Canton, the entire district too.
Benny isn't smart enough to fix anything.
Well, but he could submit and let other people fix it.
But here's the reality. Now, here's the reality. When you come on this show, and it's just like right now.
Exactly.
Right now, we do no show prep.
No.
We come in here and sit down and talk.
Thank God you didn't talk off the line with him.
That's what we do. I don't plan anything. So what comes out is what comes out. And I felt that what came out was good. I'm sorry. I don't know. I want to know what the man is about.
They sweet talk to you. Just like Jeremy England came in here and sweet talked Clay Edwards on the 15-day early voting. Lawrence came in and sweet talked to you again. Well, I'm not mad at you, but I mean, I start. I'm telling you.
Okay.
Y'all go back and listen to that again tomorrow.
People have been listening and people have been talking.
Listen to it again.
And Kent and I've been talking. I mean, I've had more people listen to me and check in with me yesterday than you can imagine wanting to talk about the issues. And that's exactly what I want to talk about are the issues. Now, nothing's going on in the legislative session right now because they didn't get nothing done the first 90 days. Okay.
Right.
And I could have gone into that with him because I feel like they all should bring back their checks.
Oh, but that's that. He's had 2 years and is the grand new glory and right now.
Right. But I'm just trying to tell you, you've got.
I'm just trying to tell you. I know that y'all want companionship. No, I'm not. Just because they're a Democrat and they come over extending their head and saying they're in the game with you does not mean that they are. We can't trust them all.
Well, let me ask you this. No, okay. Be honest. Be honest with yourself right now. Be honest with yourself.
Yes.
You know me well enough to know that I was against HB1.
You are.
Because it did not
do anything.
Solve the problem.
Exactly.
It was just a
moving around of money.
And so in the middle of that, for those rhinos that I call rhinos,
right?
They had to have 5 Democratic votes and it proves more that my story that the rhinos are in charge.
Exactly.
Okay.
Lawrence got a lot of attention being one of the Democrats that stood up.
Right. And that's
what my point is it's easy for him to stand up now. I want to pay attention to people like Stephanie Foster, that it was not easy for her.
Okay.
2.5, 3 years ago to stand up. And the only reason that I know that she was standing up is because my Republican friends who were her constituents were going to her and she was saying, I appreciate your wants. And yes, this is what's best, even though it is a Republican thing.
Okay.
And Lawrence is too young to have his head swollen the way it is already.
Well, that's
in politics, that is the biggest issue is that ego.
We both agree.
So that's my rant.
Rant? That isn't a rant.
Wow.
That's a
kind rant.
A mad white woman.
Angry white woman?
Angry white woman, whatever.
Please.
Oh.
Why is it when women get passionate about something, they're angry?
Because men sit back and let you go. I let you talk. Didn't shut you down. Should have.
You should have?
I can cut your mic off.
And I can walk out the door and not come back out here again.
Oh, yeah.
Now, it's always about choices.
So you want to have a boyfriend girlfriend fight on the radio, and we're not even boyfriend girlfriend.
No, we're not. This is me expressing my opinion about how yesterday you have been talking about all of these Democrats that are crossing over to the Republican side.
Right.
What do you think he's doing? He's doing the same thing, but he is playing the grassroots side.
But
all the other ones are playing the professional political side. He's playing the grassroots side. And I'm sorry, but I do get a little bit possessive when my people get taken astray by this.
Okay. Well, like I said, you get your opinion.
Yep.
And we'll be back to have my opinion right after this on the Chip Matthews Show here on WYAB. On the Chip Matthews Show here on WYAB.
103.9 WYAB.
Would you like a free ice cream? Head on over to Bumpers Drive-In on Highway 49 in Flora. If you're craving a juicy made-to-order burger and crispy golden fries, if you want to taste the best hand-breaded chicken tenders you've ever had, If you want a hand-mixed milkshake or a whirl with Nutter Butters, Oreos, then bump on into Bumpers Drive-In in Flora. Exclusively at the Flora location. Mention you heard them on WYAB and you'll receive a free frosty ice cream with your order. Here's what they're saying about Corcoran Door Company.
I'm going to yell out to one of your sponsors here, Corcoran Door. When the guy came out here, instead of just trying to throw a door up, he was looking at the way the house was facing. Man, with this double garage here on the south side, you might want to consider a insulated door. I came in earlier today about 2:30. The car thermometer said 99 degrees. The thermometer inside the garage was 82.
That's why they've been around 50 years.
Yeah.
Corkendoor.com. CORKERN door.com.
Are you hosting an event? Let Burgers Blues Barbecue handle the food while you enjoy the moment. From an important lunch to a dreamy wedding, B3 Catering is sure to please everyone. Find Burgers Blues Barbecue online and click the catering tab or just give us a call. And when you're dining out, visit Burgers Blues Barbecue in Flowood, Brandon, or Madison for incredible plates served fresh daily. Burgers Blues Barbecue and B3 Catering, a delicious combination.
I'm David Frederick, owner of Frederick Sales and Service in Brandon. I'm here to tell you that it's the best time to buy a new Exmark zero-turn mower. With unmatched quality of cut, ease of operation, and low maintenance, it's no wonder why Exmark is the #1 choice of landscape professionals. With sizes starting at 42 inches and 0% financing available, we have an Exmark zero-turn for all size lawns. Frederick Sales and Service in Brandon. Come by my store and see why Frederick's has been leading the way and serving you for 30 years since 1993.
When you feel like your business is drowning in paperwork and compliance issues, it's time to call Peoplease. Let Peoplease take care of the busy work so that you can save valuable time and focus on what really matters, growing your business. Peoplease is based in Ridgeland, so you're always dealing with local professionals who will actually understand your business and its needs. Join thousands of satisfied clients who trust Peoplease to simplify their employee administration. Visit Peoplease.com. That's Peoplease.com to learn more.
Craving something extraordinary in Jackson? Manship Restaurant is where your taste buds hit the jackpot. Join us for happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. where your wallet will thank you and your stomach will sing. Indulge in half-price wood-fired pizzas because why pay full price for half the fun? And for just $5, dive into our private barrel bourbon picks. That's right, luxury on a budget. Plus, beat the heat with our frozen drink specials, a tropical escape without the travel expenses. Make your way to the Manship where happy hour isn't just a time, it's an experience.
This is Jack Hoffman. For nearly 31 years, Tico Steakhouse has been a staple of the fine dining in Jackson, Mississippi. Dad has long since desired for me to come work alongside him. And now that I'm here, I would like to invite you to come experience our family tradition of our hospitality, sizzling steaks, and healthy poured beverages. Our dining rooms are open and we are taking reservations. Our private rooms are also available along with takeout. Call today or stop in and experience Tico's in the second generation.
Tico's Steakhouse, East County Line Road in Ridgeland, 601-956-1030.
We all make plans for the future, like car accidents, break-ins, and unexpected fires can disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our local agents help you design insurance plans that protect what matters most. Shelter Insurance ranked #1 for auto insurance in the Forbes 2024 World's Best Insurance Companies survey.
Ask Jamie Creel about Shelter's auto, home, and life options.
Welcome back to the Chip Matthews Show, and here is your host, Chip Matthews.
Wow. There's a reason why we don't talk on breaks. God bless
we talk
America.
all the time on break.
Okay,
Chip.
well, let me tell you this. Okay, you brought up the Capitol Police thing.
I did.
Okay. Canton needs help.
It does.
It does not have money. Okay.
Okay.
Yazoo City needs help.
I bet.
Hold on. Yazoo City doesn't have money.
They do.
Natchez needs help.
Yep. Jackson needs help.
Jackson needs help. Jackson got help from the state, from Capitol Police.
Yep.
And took over, and they were able to drop violent crime and solve cases with Capitol Police.
Yep.
Capitol Police is a name for a statewide agency that is not part of Jackson.
It is to protect the Capitol, not housetops.
No.
Yes, it is, because when Capitol Police had to start covering, I remember having a conversation with Bo Lucky when they were taking in the area between Meadowbrook and Northside, and him talking about how they were having to begin to start taking common issue. They're Capitol Police. They are supposed to guard the downtown Capitol area. They are not used to dealing with rooftop issues like fights and stuff going on underneath rooftops and households.
Okay, now hold on.
So why are we keep wanting to expand? Let me finish my thought. We keep trying to extend Capitol Police instead of solving the problem with the police departments and make the police departments start functioning instead of redesigning Capitol Police for Capitol Police to then take over. And then what? Capitol Police is then going to back out and turn it out.
Would you hold on just a second? Just calm down.
Okay.
Calm down. Let's understand one where you'll understand this. Capitol Police, before the expansion into the CID,
okay,
ran a police department that was a statewide police department. That is what Capitol Police is.
Okay.
Okay.
So they have them in all state in cities all over the state.
No, they were in at all the roadside parks. They had all of that. They had they were everywhere, and a lot of people didn't know it. And they had a smaller force, but they were spread out. They didn't need to build up and concentrate for Jackson. Okay.
Yep. They weren't having to be trained on domestic issues.
Well, no, there was domestic issues in their areas
at state parks.
No, even at the Capitol. Police are police wherever they are. They do what they do.
Mm-hmm.
So. And what we need is a new way of looking at how to help the smaller communities.
Agreed.
Agreed. Would it make better sense for the state to send $1 million to William Truly right now in Canton, Mississippi to fix the problem when nobody trusts the police? Or would it make better sense now to have some people from Capitol Police come in and help us restore order and then start putting it back together? That is what Capitol Police is doing for Jackson.
You want my answer to that? David Archie actually had a great plan that he talked about at Jacksonian for Jackson about how all of the city police departments could start working together around
David
Jackson.
Archie is an idiot. Okay. He came out and supported Chokeway. Okay.
Okay.
He's an idiot.
Well.
Okay. That's a fact.
Well.
Okay.
Maybe because he knew that
I know. Okay.
I'm not going to go there.
There
but
you go.
There are plenty of other options besides What is the deal with Capitol Police? 2 years ago, when they were ripping them, nobody went to defend.
I defended them.
Well, but all of a sudden they're supposed to go all over the state instead of us looking at police departments in cities. Maybe the police department should start working together. Maybe the police department should start working with the FBI.
Okay.
Maybe they should start working with the sheriff's department.
Do you understand?
Maybe they should start heavily recruiting.
Well, they're trying to all heavily recruit. Capitol Police pays a figure that makes it hard for smaller
Capitol
towns.
Police is literally, y'all, Capitol Police was to defend the Capitol complex.
No.
Yes, it was. It was not to defend households.
They
it was not
expanded
to
to do
deal
that.
with domestic violence.
They expanded to do that.
I realize that, but they shouldn't have had to. And y'all all ate them up. And now y'all wanted to come in and handle the problem all the way up in Canton.
I didn't know. Every city in this state deserves to have police.
They do.
We do not need to go to bed at night with gunfire.
Yes, I agree. But why is it Capitol Police's problem to solve that?
It is Capitol Police's problem because they are funded by the state. Okay. They are funded by the state.
Okay.
The state has an obligation.
To do what? To guard the Capitol. That's why they're called Capitol Police. Otherwise, you really want to talk about who the other state police are. They're called state troopers.
No, state troopers do the highways.
I know.
Okay. So understand.
But I think they can actually give tickets anywhere.
Yes. And so can Capitol Police. Currently, right now, they can write you a ticket. They can arrest anybody in the state. I watched them go on a sting in North Mississippi.
Okay.
15, 20 years ago, before any of this was an issue, to go into a pawn shop that was selling illegal guns.
Okay.
Yes, I was there. I saw it.
Well, do you not find it rich that this Democrat, after all the crap that they gave the Capitol Police 2.5 years ago, is now coming up and saying, that's a great idea, thinking out the box.
Yeah, it is a great idea. Because that's what you got to do. You got to think outside the box to fix the problem.
Yes, I'm the queen of thinking outside the box. It's almost like you freaking.
Look. You cannot. Okay, for instance, let's look at this from a bigger picture.
Okay.
Okay, you cannot fix Okay, we got a phone call. I'll explain this in just a second. Let's see what's going on. Good morning. Welcome to the fight on WYAB.
I got to get on this, Skip. I got to get in on this.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. I hear what y'all are saying. The problem, you can have the best police, but if you doesn't have the administrative to back them, the judges to back them, then you don't have no police. That's where the problem's coming in all these cities that y'all talking about. Canton, Jackson. You may have good police officers that want to do their job, but you don't have the mayor, you don't have the judges, you don't have the people to back them. They're just write a ticket and then hey, they're right back on the street. So until you can fix that, and Capitol Police, while they're successful, they have people that back them. I mean, that's the way I see it.
That's right.
I'm gonna hang up and shut up.
Thank you. See, and that's what I'm saying, and you don't understand. It's like you got to look at the big picture. The big picture is there is no infrastructure in these towns. And when you say call the FBI was being run by Democrats, and so you really can't call them to fix anything.
Can now.
It's getting there.
We can now.
It's getting there now.
Right.
But it's not there. And then the people that are in charge in these cities are Democrats. The leadership, they're not going to call the FBI. Now, are they?
No.
Because they don't believe that, because it's now run by Trump. They don't want those people.
So you really think that now you're going to send in Capitol Police after all the shit that went on?
Watch your language.
Sorry. I told you dump button. But I mean, but now they're going to trust Capitol Police after y'all trashed them and everybody thinks
I didn't trash them.
Well, the Democrats did.
The Democrats
2 years ago.
Well, that's exactly right.
Do we have any? I mean, what was Lawrence saying about him 3 years ago when all that was going on?
I don't know.
What did his dad say about it back in the day?
His dad.
What was the mother and father's standpoint on Capitol Police?
The mother and father's standpoint has nothing to do with this. Lawrence's doesn't have anything to do with this. This is only about solving the problems.
This kid, first of all, got into office dirty in the first place because his parents got on the ballot and then they jumped off at the last minute to let them on so that nobody else could get on and challenge them.
Well,
so
unfortunately, that is the way the system works. You know that the election system allows that.
So you're getting on board with what you're just
saying? I'm saying that it is wrong and there's nothing you can do about it. Had the Republicans put a person on the ballot to begin with and gotten off their ass and put somebody on there.
I don't take the attitude of there's nothing you can do about it. I wouldn't be on a ballot.
There's nothing
I would not be on a ballot if there's nothing you can do about it.
You're on the ballot because I talked you into it. Actually, tell the truth. Tell the truth.
David Archie is the one that talked me into it, not you.
He's an idiot. But anyway, here we're going to go back to this real quick. Now let's listen to this.
There's no reason to start insulting people.
Okay.
And calling him an idiot is insulting.
Okay.
And you start insulting people when you don't have an argument to come back with.
Well, take his name out of your mouth for right now, because what we're trying to talk about is what's going on. When Republicans don't put people on the ballot to run against people, it doesn't matter who's going to run on the Democrat side and what they do, because they're going to be the ones that win. If there's only one person on the ballot, only one person's going to win. So you can't call what the Blackmans did dirty between each other because
they put their kid in power behind them.
Well, we allowed it. We allowed it. That's the system. All we had to do was put, if you're going to be Democrat.
Let them get away with it. Let them get away with it. There you go.
It's not illegal.
No, it's not. But it's dirty pool, is it not?
No, it's not. It's not dirty pool because the Republicans didn't step up and put anybody on the ballot to begin with. And why didn't they put it on? They said, because I'll lose. People don't want to run because, I'll lose. This giving up.
I'd be careful calling out the Republicans when you're.
I don't care. I'll call out anybody, and you know that. My deal is, if they think you're going to lose, they don't help you. Ron Eller, they didn't help him, did he? Not $1.
Don't even.
Well, I'm just telling you right now. I'm just telling you right now that that's what it is. Let's take a break, and we'll be right back here on WYAB. And I know it says it is the Chip Matthews Show,
It is.
but for God's sakes, today is the Taylor Turcotte explosion.
Oh, Lord. have
It's the
mercy.
explosion.
Oh, if you call that an explosion.
That's an explosion, people.
Okay.
These people online, I'm looking at what they say. They're
It's an
listening to you.
explosion.
But understand,
Is it a negative or a positive explosion, people?
I don't care.
I know Chip thinks it's a negative one, but
No, what I'm trying to tell you is in elections, if people don't get their ass on the ballot and run, there's nothing we can do about what's going on with the person that's going to wind up in office.
you're preaching to the choir.
And that is and in the Madison County, the Madison County Republican Party has not put up anybody on the ballot. And they also, those areas that the Blackmans cover is Canton and Yazoo City and Hinds County. They're parts of all that.
Okay.
Nobody in Hinds County or Madison County or Yazoo County put anybody on the ballot. Now, I'm not taking up for the Blackmans. I'm taking up the process that Republicans sit on their laurels and do not help the situation by putting somebody on the ballot. Then I'm also trying to understand that you understand that he crossed the aisle to get the Democrat bill through, right? To get the HB1 through. He and several other blacks.
well, he's getting all the credit. I'll give you that.
Well, but here's the deal.
He's taking all the credit.
But here's the deal. When you have a supermajority of Republicans allegedly in the, why would we need it one single Democrat vote to pass a bill?
I don't know. Why would we?
That's
why would he do it?
Well, that's a good question. These are things that I'm trying to find out, and the only way I find out is by asking. You know, now, you know that I'm against HB1.
Yes.
Okay. You know,
I think we both were.
I think all it was a shifting of the money.
It was.
Okay.
And we were both against.
And like I will be dead
the 15 early days vote. 15 days early. We were very much against that,
Yes,
right?
yes,
right.
yes.
And he's calling people out for voting that down.
Right.
And he called that not working together with the other side.
Well, when you have a Democrat on your show, he's going to talk about Democrat issues. And some of those things I wanted to challenge him on. Some of them I didn't. I just wanted to hear where he's at.
Okay.
Just like if I had Benny Thompson in here.
Exactly. I
wouldn't be in here screaming at Benny like you're screaming at me. I could just cry.
Oh,
I could just cry.
Oh, Chip. I'm telling you.
I'm telling
stars
you.
in your eyes.
Huh?
You get stars in your eyes.
Who?
You.
I don't get stars in my eyes. If I am the last person that is ever starstruck by somebody who's in office or a rock star.
And I think it comes from your passion of wanting to get it comes from a very pure place that you wanted this to work. And I will give you that. You want to fix Canton and you need people to get in and help you. And when somebody presents themselves as help, especially as he did, I get it. But I'm not the bad person because I'm trying to protect you from him.
Let me ask you this. How many times do you think he and I have been around each other to ever speak to each other?
I don't know how many times.
Okay. At his forum, I showed up and shook his hand, and that was it. So we had never spoken.
Okay.
Okay. Then the next thing, the time I saw him, we had never spoken.
Okay.
It's just hello. I don't know the man.
I don't know him either. My opinion is formed from Grip and Grin, basically.
We have, and
yesterday.
And I told him to come because I wanted to see.
I was excited.
And I was expected when he came that it was going to be a lot different than the way it was.
I was Yeah.
And then the people that because I was ready to scream out at Jason White.
I didn't expect him to come on our show and call out Tate Reeves.
Well, that's what's going to happen. That's called Democrats. Those are called Democrats. If we had Democrats in here, they would call out Trump. That's what happens. Okay? Do you agree with that?
No.
You don't think that if we brought a Democrat in here?
I don't think he should have called out Tate Reeves and said that Tate Reeves was not getting along down at the Capitol. He was causing Democrats and Republicans not to get along because he shot down the 15 days early voting bill.
And you know that I support everything Tate Reeves does.
Okay.
Correct? Don't you know that? Okay.
Yes.
So let me ask you this. We're going to hear from a Democrat. We had a Democrat on the air, and he gave us his opinion on these things. And he was talking about these things. Now, you know that we know that the Republican rhino government that we have at the Capitol
Mm-hmm.
is going to support when you put a Democrat on the air and you notice that rhino, all the rhinos line up with the Democrats. I'm actually exposing the problem.
Okay.
But I didn't want to talk about that problem and get into this shouting match that we're having right now. You and I are having it, but I wasn't going to have that with him. There's no need for that. We've got murders every 5 minutes in Canton. They wrote while we
Y'all didn't talk about any of the murders.
Yes, we did.
You talked about
No, hold on.
Benny and Capitol Police. Y'all didn't really talk about the murders. Y'all didn't talk about any. That's what. Anyway.
But what I'm saying is, while we were on the air talking, the guys rode through the parking lot at the apartment complex and fired guns into the air yesterday.
Did they put a police officer in the parking lot last night?
No, they didn't. But if I had Capitol Police, I would have had somebody there. No, but I'm just saying, no, you're not listening to me. You just said last night. I'm talking about at 9:45 a.m.
Yesterday morning.
They rode through the parking lot shooting guns in the air just to tell people you better not talk to anybody. That's the kind of situation that we actually need the National Guard in Canton, just like Jackson needed the National Guard, but you got the Capitol Police instead. That's exactly what happened. We needed people on every corner in order to protect the citizens. That's the only, you need eyes everywhere. And you're only going to have that if you have a number of people that come do it. And as for you to tell me how my tax dollars should be spent just protecting Jackson when I got a problem in Canton and I got a problem in Yazoo City and I got a problem in Natchez, that is wrong. That money belongs to us as much as it belongs to Jackson. And Jackson doesn't have a tax base to even support what they get out of Capitol Police. That's the facts. Is it? You're running for office there. You tell me. Okay. We're going to take a break, do our last break, and be back and argue some more right after this on the Chip Matthews Show with Taylor Turcotte on WYAB. And welcome back to the Chip Matthews Show here on WYAB with Taylor Turcotte. Of course, I am Chip Matthews, the idiot, the incomplete idiot. I don't know anything, and I'm
glad
stupid
you'll
as hell.
insult yourself as well as other people.
Well, thank you very much. I mean,
I
I have no leg to stand on anything. We're trying to solve problems, and you are not listening. You got to look. If you go down and you listen to both sides, you can start to find unity. But until you listen to both sides, just because you're shaking your head yes doesn't mean you're agreeing. You want to hear more. The more somebody says something, the more you can listen to it and figure it out. That's it's not like we have debates all the time. We don't have things to where we know. We don't talk in public everywhere. You don't have, like, let's say in your election. Okay. Mm-hmm. How many debates have you been involved in? How many places? None. Because they don't want to hear. They want to keep us quiet. The Democrats control the narrative because Jackson is a Democrat city. Canton is a Democrat city. Yazoo City is a Democrat city, all in Benny Thompson's district. Mm-hmm. Okay. So in these cities, we keep ourselves beat down and nobody wants to attack or talk about the subject matter that needs to be talked about. And only way when I bring it up to talk to somebody, I am only trying to learn their opinion and their perspective. I am not a black man. Okay.
Okay.
I have to understand the black man's thought process in how they come to their decisions on have and have not. I have to think that through. And as a white mayor in Canton, I will be asked to do it twice as hard and be held to a much higher level. Yes. But I've got to understand what they're going through.
And you were trying to, you're putting up quite a fight to do that. Yes. You were getting in there, and
I mean,
the people showing up in the city hall the other day for you moved your heart. I know, I saw it.
Yeah, but I was there not with them. I was there on my own.
I know you were there on your own, but those are going to be your constituents, and you care about them.
Yes.
You want what is good for them on the other side of the track, just probably almost more than you want it for on your own side of the track right now.
I want Canton to be right. I want it to be right.
Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that you would be the best mayor in Canton. You understand that city from top to bottom, everything about it.
Okay, but then understanding the world, after we get Canton, we have got to get the Senate and House seat. We've got to make sure that those people are working for our citizens in our district.
Yes.
Then we go to the next level, because in the state government, the state government doesn't work for anybody because they don't do anything about these election mishaps. They do nothing. Okay. They don't really control. Would you agree?
Nothing has been done about election fraud at all.
Okay, so you're just going to be quiet and not yell anymore. Is that what you're going to do now?
What do you want, Chip?
I don't
Make
know.
up your mind.
This is like
you want to lecture me, or you want me to engage? What you want?
No, I want you. What do you mean? Jeez. This is like
we all need to realize that this is the Democrats fighting for their very last battle cry.
Right.
This is their very last attempt at trying to save themselves. And I saw one of them come on a show that my name is on a lot.
Right.
And basically talk about how it wasn't about politics because of the people in Canton, but then he is steadily either defending and saying that Benny Thompson we don't need, Benny's got his hands full in DC. He doesn't need to be down here.
Well, he's not coming down here.
Well, no, or attacking one of the bills that I was attacking the person who stepped in and stopped one of the bills I was very much against from happening.
Right.
So in my opinion, he said that it wasn't political. And then he shows up with a whole laundry list of political stuff to talk about.
I understand that.
So that's why I was fired up this morning and why I came on. And I'm sorry if it seemed like I was calling you out. It was meant to be a little bit more of a defense of you.
Well,
but I was trying to call him out of coming on the show and doing that.
Well, what I'm getting at is the problems that are going on in the world, we got to take care of.
Yes. But just because they're a Democrat coming over and extending their hand does not mean that they are doing it in the right reason. for the right reasons. You can't always, I've already had an experience of that of my own. You can't always trust everybody who's coming up and saying, I'm here to be your friend when they're setting you up.
I wish you would realize that sometimes.
Okay.
But that's another story. And I'm not going to get into that. But the reality is, we only have 3 minutes.
Okay.
People don't want to hear half our argument.
Okay.
We're not getting a divorce.
Well, then don't start it. If don't start the argument if you're going to say we don't have time for it.
You're not going to. We're getting a divorce.
Maybe.
Okay. This is a radio divorce. This is a book. That,
work husbands. I've gotten a couple of work husbands.
But anyway, y'all, we'd like to thank the world for Donald Trump and what he's done overseas.
Yes.
Okay. That was what I wanted to talk about today. Thank you.
Talk about that tomorrow.
Maybe.
How many trillion?
I may have to argue with you tomorrow.
Well, maybe.
But he went.
Trillion?
He got money. He's got somebody gave him a gift of an airplane. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
A
roaming palace.
Let's put it this way. I know nobody in Congress that when you give them money, they wouldn't take every dollar.
No.
Republican or Democrat.
Yeah.
Okay. So
it's like it's
they're
close
just
to
jealous.
It's close to $2 trillion that will be coming in over the next 10 years from the three countries. And
that was just his first day over there.
That's over a weekend.
That's the first day there.
I know.
He's got 2 more days there before he comes back home.
I know. Of course, he did it. It's Saudi. The Saudi Arabian prince is actually. I have a lot of respect for him because he got in a little bit of trouble because he was trying to change the way women were viewed and let them drive and do things, and he got a little bit too forward with himself and had to back it up just a tad. But he's trying to do the right thing for.
I wonder if Clay is still in the building, or if Clay will run out because he's scared of you. Because we've been fighting in here for so long.
Why would he be scared of me today?
I'm scared of you. I'm scared of you.
Okay.
But anyway,
y'all.
You want to kiss and make up?
No,
you want to kiss and make up?
Nope.
Come on.
Nope.
Come on.
Nope. Nope.
Come on.
Nope. No, I told a whole room of ladies yesterday that when the men won't get out of your way, you just step over them.
You don't
tell them to sit down and you step over them and you get it done.
Okay. Well,
and gave them a nice little Designing Women quote.
Well, everybody in Jackson be happy, because if Taylor Turcotte gets in the office, and she will, you will have somebody standing up and fighting for you and doing the right thing.
Yeah,
and then, of course, if I can get my idiot self over the line.
You are not an idiot, Chip. I have told you over and over, there's nobody who can run Canton better.
Okay. And I will be there. Hell, I'm scared of her. Jeremy Dole said. Anyway, that's going to do it for us. Jameson Haygood at 10.
Okay.
Kim Wade at 4.
Oh, and we've got Madison County Republican
much
women.
We don't have that much
Georgia
time.
Blue.
We don't have that much time because you yelled too much. She's Taylor Turcotte. I'm Chip Matthews. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. right here on WYAB.
Bye, y'all.